Let's go over the cost of cheap leads. When you buy cheap leads, you're buying cheap information. When you're buying cheap information, you're not getting enough information to actually decide whether this client is worth your time or not. So what happens is, say you buy 100 leads for $15 a piece, right? That's $1,500. That sounds awesome, right? I just got 150 leads. Well, let me tell you right now, out of those 150 leads, 75% of them aren't going to answer the phone. I'd actually argue 100 of them are not going to answer the phone or know who you are. So 100 of those leads are not even going to answer the phone. 30 of those leads are going to pick up and be like, what the hell are you calling about? 10 of them are going to have maybe a conversation with you, whatever, maybe book an appointment, maybe not. And then the other 10, and this is the worst part, the other 10 are all going to book appointments. All right. And you're like, well, yeah, if 10 of them book appointments, that's great. Well, here's what happens. You show up to all of their houses and you give out estimates, and then they don't end up buying because they're price shopping and you're too expensive. So what do? They go hire some random guy off the street and have him come rebuild and remodel their entire thing and do it for way cheaper than you would have done it because that person is doing anything to make a couple dollars. That's what happens when you buy cheap leads. Okay? Let me help you understand what's going on in the background. So a lead, a cost of a lead is directly correlated with the offer and the creative that you are putting in front of those people, right? And then on top of that, the amount of qualifying that you do to get that lead. So if my offer and my creative is some sort of discounted service and I put that in front of people, then they come into my lead form and all I have is phone number, name, and email. Then all they have to do is put in their name, phone number, and email, and they're assuming they're going to get, I don't know, $10,000 off of their next bathroom project. That's what a cheap lead is. Like you're basically getting people who are like not serious buyers into your pipeline. If you have an ad that is not about, let me get you a discount, all right, but it has a real offer that is something that will grab the attention of not this small homeowner who, if you have a real ad that is running an offer that will speak to not the broke people trying to get a discount, but the people that are willing to pay premium prices and they want to work with premium remodelers, that person will then click on your ad and then they will get qualified on top of that. So after they see your ad, they go fill out your form. Now they have a questionnaire that's asking them questions about their budget, their timeline, if they're located in the area, more information about their project that disqualifies them if they're not even ready to do this project or they're not a good lead for you. That lead might cost you $150, but every single one of those that comes through, is a qualified buyer. They're willing to spend, their budget is over $30,000. They're willing to start now. They tell you about their project, right? Because here's the thing, the people that are looking for discounts are just going to come fill out your form. If you just have a phone number and an email, they can just type that in really quick. It doesn't even have to be their own phone number and email. If you want someone that's quality, they're going to go through and fill out the entire thing. And I know it's scary because you're running ads, you spend money on ads every day, and a lead doesn't come through. And you spent $150 that day and you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I didn't have a lead come in. You have to be patient in your advertising. You have to understand that it's going to take you time to find a quality client. And when you are running ads and you have qualifiers and you have a vetting process before you can even get on the phone with this person, you're not running around to this estimate and this estimate and this estimate and this estimate, and then nobody's buying and you feel busy, but nothing's actually working. You're only getting the people that are serious about buying your service into your pipeline, booking calls with you, and then you're just showing up for the inspection. So you have to understand that. The cost for cheap leads is significantly higher than the cost of expensive leads. Because with cheap leads, you're spending more money on gas going to these inspections. You're spending more time waiting to get results. And if you're working with an agency that has a retainer, you're spending more on the retainer every single month instead of getting results. This is why buying cheap leads is a waste of your time. I prefer things to be more expensive. You have to have them be more expensive. I don't care how much my lead costs. If my lead costs me $400, but I know that person's going to book and I have a 50% chance of closing that person on the first call, I'm going to take that $400 lead every single day, because that would mean that my customer acquisition cost is $800, which is phenomenal. All right. And actually, funny enough, in my industry, I think $800 is too expensive for a customer, or sorry, too cheap for a customer anyway. I don't want to pay for a customer that's less than like $2,000, because I know they're not going to be a good customer. I want to work with people that I know are going to do the job. I know are going to put in the effort. I know are willing to spend the money on ads to actually get the results, over working with someone who's just looking to get an extra job here and there. My goal is to build something long-term, and that's what yours should be too. Your goal should not be, how can I get a bunch of leads this month and close a bunch of jobs? Your goal should be, how can I 3 to 5x my business in the next 12 months? When you start thinking bigger like this, when you work with an agency long-term and commit with them, the whole like, how much does the lead cost starts to go away. You stop worrying about that, because honestly, cost per lead is not even a good metric. In fact, in my opinion, cost per lead is the metric that proves whether you're willing to spend money on this and actually get results versus not. I actually would argue the higher customer acquisition, or the higher cost per lead, is better, because the lower cost per lead is not let's get results. It's let's just get a shit ton of leads. You can get leads all day. I'm telling you, I promise. No matter what company you work with, I promise you, there's any company out there can get you $15 leads. It shouldn't be hard. But that's not what's going to help you win. That's not what's going to get you to 3 to 5x the business. If anything, you're just going to be calling a bunch of leads all day, every single day, and hoping and wishing that one of them closes. Anyway, that was my short little ramble. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. There's other videos on my channel where I talk about how to get better results in your marketing as a remodeler. Go ahead and check that out. If you want to have a conversation about advertising, if you're ready to actually scale your business and stop buying cheap leads, click the link in the description, and I will see you in the next video.